So over the past few months, I've made many attempts to predict the outcome of the League 2 2021-2022 campaign. And now I've finished up the season with, of course, this fantastic calculator at the worldfootball.net website. Of course, who do I think will actually go up and who do I think will actually go down in League 2? I'm going to give you our results and they're coming at you next. Today we'll take a look at the end of the season. That's right, League 2. Who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? With my final, of course, prediction league. And we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been? Smash your subscribe to get you back today. All things Rovers related, League 2 related, world football related. We got it all here, boys. Under one Rooski. Of course, we're taking a final look at League 2 in what has been dubbed one of the tightest promotion races in, of course, domestic football over in England. And we'll get to it in just a second. Big shout out to my VIPs. They're the patrons, guys. Thank you for loving it, of course, behind the scenes. But anyway, let's get into what I'm talking about. Of course, right here, right now, we are recording this on July the 7th. Of course, Forest Green Rovers are top of the table by 7 points with Exeter City next up, of course. But then it is a wide open race between third place Port Vale and, of course, the chasing pack. We've got 7 points separate third from all the way down to 10th. That is Salford, of course. Who's going to go up? Who's going to go down? We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, at the start of the video, you should have seen some snapshots of me predicting the rest of the results, of course, and now I'm going to give you the results of the final table in my eyes. Of course, before that, big shout out to my VIPs. They're the patrons, guys. Thank you for loving, of course, behind the scenes. But anyway, let's get into what I'm talking about, of course, which is my table. So here it comes, of course. I'm going to give it to you in, of course, the style that we do over here from the middle of the pack all the way down, of course, to the relegation spots, and then we'll do the top half of the table. So this is what I've got at the end of it. I did predict each and every one of the games, so here are the results in my eyes. So coming at you, we're going to start in 13th spot, Crawley. That's right. That's actually where they are at the moment. They're actually on 51 points heading into this game. Actually, not bad form for them at the moment. Of course, picking up a couple of wins at the last 6 games, of course, heading into this weekend's action, of course. But for me, they will end up in 13th spot with 63 points on the board. That's an increase of 12 for the time being. There you can see the points tally on the target, of course. So pretty much dead rubber for them. Not really moving up, not really moving down. Of course, building maybe for next season as well. Into 14th spot, we have Leighton Orient, and again, pretty much as you were as well. Actually on very good form at the moment are Leighton Orient, picking up just one defeat past 6 games for them, and on 49 points as of recording. They will get up. They'll amass another further 18. 9 points there. To go up to 58 points at the grand scheme of things. 14th spot. In my eyes, pretty much no movement there. Next up, of course, we have currently in the real one in 15th, we have Bradford City with, of course, Mark Hughes. Again, pretty much as you were. No major changes in that regard. They will get to another 10 points, of course, as we wrap at the end of the season. Again, we're looking at maybe I think final 6 games as of recording right here, right now. So they will amass another 10 points out of that. So picking up around about 3 wins there and a draw along the way. Of course, I'll show you my final elaborated table at the end of it, of course, on this one as well. Into 16th spot in the real world, we have Harrogate Town right here, right now. Again, they're actually on 47 points. But I have Colchester coming out of nowhere, of course, making a surge from 19th, of course. They're currently on 45 points, Colchester United. I have them coming at you at 57 points. Again, with a touching distance of 14th. And considering where they were one of the teams that were going to go in that relegation scrap. It'd be a monster revival for them. Of course, as of right here, right now, of course, they're on the back of 4 wins in the last 6 games. So they're on a good bit of form for the moment, and they are surging up the table. I do see that surge rising a little bit up to 16th of the table for Colchester United. And again, ending the season in a pretty decent shape. But again, they want to get back to a couple of seasons ago where, of course, they were in the playoffs trying to get back into League One. So into 17th spot, we have Harrogate Town, of course, dropping it down a spot. Of course, they are not the greatest form at the moment, just 1-6 of them, over, of course, as of recording, on 47 points. I see them get up to 56 over the course of the last 6 or so games. Again, not making many major strides up the table, despite having a good start to the campaign way back, of course, from August onwards. But again, remaining in this division for them is crucial. But I think Harrogate Town will be safe safest out is at 17th spot. Into 18th, we have Carlisle United. That's pretty much non-movers as well. They're actually on 47 points as of recording. Just one defeated past 4, it looks like. Heading into this game, of course, they'll amass 53 points. Just a further 6 over the course of the next 6 games. So maybe an average of a point a game, but really not making major strides. And again, I do recall, was it last season or the season before, where they were, of course, flying high. And of course, in the automatics for what's before they hit a rough patch of form. And of course, Free fell out of the automatics, out of the playoffs, of course, into oblivion, of course. And they haven't really responded since that bit of form way back a couple of seasons ago. So again, they've also struggled this season, but I think they're in good hands for next season to maybe make a push for top half of the table next campaign. And again, we'll see. We'll elaborate on all that, of course, over post-season. It's a 19th spot. We have Walsall. They're a 17th at the moment. They'll drop down a couple of spots, but only see them picking up 4 points over the next handful of games, of course. So not great for Walsall at the best. Again, it wasn't too long ago. Was it last season they were in League One? They need to get back to rip it up in this division to maybe make a push next season. Of course, as they try to rekindle their club a little bit. Next, of course, we have Rochdale. No movement for them. They're currently on 44 points. I see them amassing another 4 points. And again, they were League One last season. Again, you would look at the season as a bit of a train wreck, really. Not really competing for the playoff spots or anything. They've not been in the race at all this season. They've been very, very underwhelming, of course, since their relegation last season. So again, very, very safe for them at the end of it. Of course, when I say safe, it's not that far off of the drop zone, but a bit of a gap between themselves and the next best thing. Into 21st spot at the moment, it is Barrow, but I do see Oldham dragging themselves up a little bit to 40 points for them, which of course, that's just one win. That's just one win between now and the end of the season. That is not great, which of course puts the likes of the other teams down there. I think we've still got Barrow, still got Stevenage, and still got Scunthorpe to see who will actually go down. But for me, Oldham will be safe, but only just. And of course, maybe next season they can turn the tide a little bit, because they've been on a right old dreadful run of seasons after season of oblivion. And I'd like to see them get back to maybe competing for playoffs next campaign. But under this current ownership, I don't see that happen. Okay, next, of course, we have into the luckiest bugger in the league position. It is 22nd. It will be Barrow. Barrow FC currently coming at you in 21st spot. Phil Brown has taken over the reins, but of course, he's not really seen much of a revival. 3 defeats on the spin as of recording. However, I do see them amassing no more points. They will be, as you were, 37 points on the board. So they're not going to see much change in anything. And I think they're relying on the fortunes elsewhere of the Stevenages, of the Scunthorpes as well. So Barrow will be safe, but not really in safe hands, of course, and they'll be looking to avoid the drop next season. One team that will not be avoiding the drop next season will be Stevenage. They're going to go down this campaign, picking up 37 points, which will be one more win, but of course the goal difference will be inferior to that of Oldham and of course Barrow. So not great for Stevenage. They will go down to the National League, and of course probably replaced by the likes of Stockport, Wrexham, of course, competing to get themselves back in the thick of things. But Stevenage are going down. And they're going to be joined by Scunthorpe on 25 points, just the 1 point I see them making over the course of the next 6 games. So pretty dismal stuff down the foot of the table for the likes of Stevenage and Scunthorpe, who were once on the verges of promotion to the Championship within the last 5 years, but now they're of course heading out of the Football League. Up into the top end of the table we go now. It'll be 12th spot. It'll be Hartlepool United currently find themselves at 12th spot. They've got 52 points at the moment. I do see them actually getting another 12 points on that. 64 points it will be, and of course that will be not good enough to challenge the playoffs, but of course a first season back in the EFL, and of course top half of the table for Hartlepool, not too shabby as well. Next up, of course, we have 11th spot, Swindon Town. Of course, much was billed by Swindon Town to be one of the contenders this campaign. Again, relegated last season, I believe, of course, from League One, and it's just been so tight. I only see them getting 71 points. The 71 points will not be enough. So digging further into the top half of the table, we have Swindon Town. That's right. Of course, much was billed and much was expected from Swindon Town in this campaign. Of course, having been relegated from League One last season. Of course, they've had a fantastic season, really. But of course, the race for the top end of the table, and of course, the playoffs has been very, very much once in a lifetime sort of race. And Swindon Town just couldn't muster enough to get into those top 7 spots. And for me, 71 points, I see them accumulating, which of course will be a further. What are we looking at here? We're further looking at another 9 points from the next 3 games, or 4 games even. Oh, sorry, 6 games. Sorry, so picking up a couple of wins as well. So joining, of course, Hartlepool in the top end of the table will be Swindon Town. Unfortunately, it's not going to be good enough for them. 71 points, of course, for the remainder of the season. Of course, as much was billed, as much was expected from Swindon Town. Of course, after a strong start to the campaign, they just failed to deliver at the right end of the season. They do come into this, of course, right here, right now. It's just one defeat past 4 for them. But, of course, I only see them amassing another 9 points over the course of the remaining 6 or 7 games for Swindon Town. They do have a game in hand, but for me, I don't think it's going to be good enough. And, of course, the strength of the teams above them, of course, we're looking at Tranmere's, Newport's, and, of course, Salford's will just be too good. And, of course, the form for them will be just too strong for them heading into this next part of the season, of course. So Swindon in 11th. Into 10th spot, I have Tranmere Rovers. Goodness gracious me, what a fall from grace they have had. Of course, they have, as I recorded, 64 points. In 7th, they will drop down a few spots to 74 points. So they'll pick up another 10 points, but that's not good enough at this stage of the campaign. They need more than that. Of course, they've got 6 games left, 10 points accumulated. That's just a couple of drops. They've missed the boat by a fraction of a margin, and you'll see just how tight it is when, of course, we get into those playoff spots. So joining Tranmere in 9th is Sutton United, also on 74 points. Of course, they were in the automatics for a good part of the season, but again, a busy campaign in the Football League trophy and all that kind of stuff. I've seen them drop to 9th. Of course, they're actually in 11th as a recording, so they'll make up traction on the teams above them, picking up a course of 12, at least, 13 points over the course of the next thing. But again, that's not good enough. As you see, as we get closer towards the top, you'll see just how tight it is in the race for promotion. Into 8th spot is Newport County. They're currently in 8th as well. They'll pick up 12 points as well. 4 wins, of course, are the next 6 games. That's how tight it is. You've got to be at the best at the moment to get into the thick of things. So Newport County will be in 8th. Unfortunately, not good enough again to make the playoffs. However, if your team is not revealed, guess what? You're on for an extended season at the very least, if not promotion as well. So into the top 7. These are the money spots, of course, and we are looking at Salford City. Will make it, of course, with Team GB. Of course, we'll get over the line this time around, of course, which will show the Nevilles or whoever it is, the team of 92, not to sack a manager every 2 seconds. So, of course, Team GBs will be in 7th. That's Salford City, 75 points on the board. And, of course, that's a rise from 10th. Again, pick up, of course, 13 points over the course of those remaining 6 or so games. Joining them in the playoffs will be Port Vale, of course, currently find themselves in the automatics in 3rd with 69 points. They'll, of course, will only amass 7 over the course of the next 6 or so games. So Port Vale dropping from 3rd in the automatics to, of course, 6th in the playoffs, which, of course, will be very spicy for them to extend their season as well. Into 5th, it'll be Northampton Town, currently find themselves in 4th, of course, not automatics. So then they were up there for a good part of the season. Again, as of recording, they've actually been on a bit of a hot and cold kind of run, 1-3, lost 3 over the last 6, 66 points for them right here, right now, amassing another 12 points over the course of the remaining 6 or so games. So that's not going to be good enough for Northampton. They'll be 5th. Into 4th, it'll be Mansfield Town, currently find themselves in 6th form, just 1 defeat past 5 for them, 66 points on the board. They do have a game in hand over the rest of the guys above them, but again, it's not going to be good enough. They're going to fall short by, of course, a little bit. 82 points, not good enough. And again, that's a mass of a whole bunch of points. We're looking at 16 points again, I believe, over the next 5 or 6 games, 6 or 7 games for Mansfield, but it's not going to be good enough. They're going to have to settle for playoffs, but of course, they could face heartbreak later on. Into 3rd spot, it'll be Barton's Boys, of course. Joey Barton's Boys just 1 defeat at the past 6 as of recording, 66 points again. They're up there with 82 points, just ahead of Mansfield Town with the goal difference, which of course will be enough for them to get over the line. Again, amassing a further a whole bunch of points there. 14, what are they looking at? 14 points, 16 points over the course of those remaining games. They're looking very good over the last 6 games. Into 2nd spot, it'll be Exeter City. That's pretty much as you were, 71 points they were. They'll get a further 15 onto that. They do have a game in hand as well, over the likes of Port Vale, Northampton, and the chasing pack. And then wrap it up. It will be, of course, as you expect, the Vegans leading the charge with 91 points, of course. That'll be a further 12, I think, 12, 11 points, something like that. At the top of the table, currently they find themselves with 78 points, and of course, unbeaten in just the last 3 games, 3 wins on the spin. But of course, heading into the back end of the campaign, they will, of course, see out the deal and get over the line, and of course, get promoted to, of course, League One for the first time. Is that right? The first time? Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know if they've ever been that high before. So at long last, the green machine, that is the vegan machine, will get over the line, and of course, pre-champions again. So in my eyes, it'll be the Vegans, it'll be the Exeter City and Barton's Boys, Bristol Rovers will get back, of course, to League One at the first attempt, despite having a wobbly start to the campaign with, of course, all his off-the-field dramas. And then we'll have Mansfield, Northampton, Port Vale and Salford, a very spicy looking playoff quartet there. And of course, down the foot of the table, Stevenage and Scotland will go down to the non-league to be replaced by, of course, the Deadpool machine, of course, Stockport, Chesterfield, Halifax, who bloody knows. But that's it, boys. That is it. And here's the table in all its glory. As you can see, the goal difference in there, of course, the one-loss tally and all that kind of stuff. So take from that from what you will. But that is it, my friends. That is all I've got for you. Be sure to take a snapshot of that, and also let me know your thoughts and opinions down below of what you think will happen out in the League 2 campaign this coming season. Of course, it is only at the back end of it now, into the final month we've got, and a final handful of games, of course. Do you see anything stopping the vegans? Of course, do you think anything can save Scunthorpe now? Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Of course, until then, we'll see you soon. Until that, smash your old thumbs up. Does wonders for the old algorithm. Of course, smash your subscribe, of course, and of course, hit the little bell as well. Of course, we'll hope to get back to you with your brand new squeaky clean League 2 predictions, of course, for the new campaign as soon as the final whistles go around the ground, and of course the playoff encounters around the leagues and all that kind of stuff. But until then, guys, that is it. Smash the thumbs up, smash your subscribe. Until then, boys, we're done right now.